Thank you, Mr. Hughes. What makes a hero? Take a minute and think about your heroes. Who comes to mind? It may seem difficult to identify heroes, but they are among us. Every day, thousands of men and women risk their lives and fortunes to protect what we may often take for granted, our freedom. By serving in the 5 branches of the American Armed Services, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard, everyday heroes defend the liberties that are guaranteed to all of us by the Constitution. Today, we are here to honor these everyday heroes and their service.
Each branch of the armed services boasts its own history of defending our nation by excelling in a specific area as military warfare evolved through the ages. The first United States military veterans were those patriots who fought for the war for independence. Some were wealthy, some were poor. Some had been born in the colonies, some had just immigrated, but all of them believed that citizens in these United States could forge a better future with freedom. That belief in liberty and freedom, justice and democracy that the United States promotes is still the driving force of our military veterans today. I light this candle to symbolize all veterans' devotion to freedom.
The United States Army was founded on June 14, 1775, when the Continental Congress authorized the enlistment of noble men to serve the colonies. Today, both men and women who fight in the Army swear to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to bear true faith and allegiance to our nation. They crossed the Delaware River on a freezing Christmas Eve with George Washington over 220 years ago. They dug into trenches to stop tyrannical aggression in World War I. They helped to liberate prisoners from concentration camps as they freed Europe again in World War II. They answered the call to liberate people from oppression and defend democracy in nations around the world. I light this candle in honor of all men and women of the United States Army. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. That is the motto of the United States Marine Corps. Founded in November 1775, the Marines are dedicated to serving on both land and sea. As the Marine Corps hymn says, first to fight for right and freedom. Since 1805, when Marines first raided the Barbary pirates on the shores of Tripoli to end their tyrannical hold on the seas, Marines have stood for what is right, just and strong about our nation. Former Commandant of the Marines, General Carl Mundy, claimed in 1995, feared by enemies, respected by allies, and loved by the American people, Marines are a special breed. I light this candle in honor of all men and women who have served and still serve in the United States Marines.
by the Continental Congress with a fleet of ships to defend the colony's waterways. Following the American victory over the British, the U.S. Constitution empowered Congress to provide and maintain a navy so that our nation's waters would always be secure. The Navy ships at first were beautiful wooden boats with sails. Now they are sleek, technologically advanced aircraft carriers, submarines, and cruisers. The United States Navy proudly protects the freedom of the seas. I light this candle in honor of all men and women who have served and still serve in the United States Navy.
Although the Coast Guard began in 1790 under the name Revenue Cutter Service, it was officially established as the Coast Guard by President Woodrow Wilson on January 28, 1950, in order to save lives at sea and enforce the nation's maritime laws. The Coast Guard is dedicated to protecting our nation's shores and is devoted to duty and sacrifice of self. The Coast Guard's official song proudly says, "We're the first invaders on every fighting field, afloat ashore on men and spars, you'll find the Coast Guard shield." It has served in every single conflict of this nation and continues to be crucial in homeland security. I light this candle in honor of all men and women who have served and still serve in the United States Coast Guard.
The United States Air Force has been a significant part of America's military history for the past century. The Air Force first participated in combat during World War I under the name Army Air Service. As aviation technology advanced, it became known as the Army Air Force and began to play a key role in defending our nation's skies during World War II. Finally, in 1947, the Air Force was officially recognized by the United States as a separate branch of the military. Today, whether it's patrolling the skies of the United States, airlifting, humanitarian relief to needy nations,